Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available summer 2023, the album, Dad, Shimmy Shimmy, AF, Rock on Gold Dust. Lovers only love you when they're playing. Boost! Happy Wednesday. How are you guys doing? You've made it halfway through the week. Can you believe it? And when you've made it halfway through the week and it's absolutely gorgeous outside, why not a Trisha Paytas video? I haven't made a Trisha Paytas video in quite some time, and I actually wasn't going to make a Trisha Paytas video today, so I hope she's very, very thankful. I am rather exhausted, so the main reason that I am making a video today, whether it's about Trisha Paytas or Jeffree Star or who'd care about who? The main reason is not because of Trisha Paytas and not because of Jeffree Star and not because of Shane Dawson and not because of whoever. It's because I got my hair cut, and I thought I always wear a hat on this channel, and because my hair is cut and done today and styled, I thought, well, I should make a video today so that I can show off my hair. And I'm also starting to be able to wear clothes that have not fit me for like 10 years, including this shirt. I said in my video the other day that I collect Western shirts with pearl buttons. Here you can see this is a good example of one. I love vintage Western shirts with pearl buttons. I have hundreds of them, and so I'm starting to be able to fit into them again because I've lost so much weight. And so I thought, well, I went out to cut lunch with my first I got my haircut, and then my cousin Caroline, she picked me up. We have cousin fun day once a week, and we went to lunch at Cafe Patashu here in Indianapolis. And I had an omelet. I had the California Dreamer, which has like egg whites, cheddar cheese, and it has jalapenos in it and hot peppers, but I don't get those because it hurts my stomach. So, and it also has avocado. But I will tell you a little trick if you're an omelet maker out there. I have been putting Dijon mustard in my omelet, and it's like chef's kiss. I absolutely love it so much. And then we went to Costco and I bought more plants for my front porch. And then we went to the post office box and I picked up some packages that I got, which I will be showing in a video on my Peter Does Stuff channel tomorrow. And what else did we do? Oh, and then we went to Target and I got some Harry's razors. Y'all know I swear by Harry's razors. And I got some deodorant and just little things you need to pick up. Oh, Liquid Death water, which I swear by in the metal cans. I did a review of it on my review channel. And I said that the water doesn't taste that great. It's no better than Aquafina, which is the truth. I'll swear by that any day. But I love that it comes in the metal cans because it just there's something about drinking water out of metal that I love. It reminds me of Little House on the Prairie. Back in the day, when I was a little kid, I would wake up in the middle of the night and I couldn't sleep. And we had this tin cup and I would drink water from the bathroom sink out of this tin cup like I was, getting it out of the well from Little House on the Prairie. But anyway, I digress. So I came home and I unloaded all of my stuff and I put my plants up. I hung my fern. I swept off my front porch. I was talking to my neighbors and I was so exhausted. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And I was like, but you know what? I can pop out one video a day at least over here. I'm going to do my vlog as well. So I wanted to, I've had some things I've wanted to talk about, and Trisha Paytas is one of the people that I've wanted to talk about for a while. Now, I said this in my video, I think that I did yesterday or the day before, but I want to wish Trisha a very happy birthday. On the 8th, she turned 35. Happy birthday, Trisha. Congratulations. Trisha has been lately putting out all of this stuff. I did a video, I think it was probably like a month ago. I think it was when I was in Florida. I did a video about Trisha and the documentary that she is doing. Now, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the story has changed a lot. This is like, like when you watch like a Netflix series or you watch like a true crime documentary or something like that, and where it starts and where it ends up are like two completely different things. That's kind of like the narrative of the Trisha Paytas documentary. Like where it started and where it's ending up are two completely different things, okay? First of all, this started as this documentary that Trisha basically said this company reached out to her and they wanted to do this documentary, and they wanted to do it about like, her basically talking to like all the different scandals that she had, but she didn't want to do that, okay? She didn't want to do that. She didn't want to sit down with the Jeffree Stars and the Shane Dawsons and all the people that she's had problems with. She didn't want to take accountability for the 10,000 lies that she's made that she still hasn't taken accountability for, which she says, what? Who, me? What lies? Whatever, when there's lists and lists and lists, right? She didn't want to do any of that kind of stuff. What she wanted to talk about was all the hate that she's received on the Reddit threads, which is interesting because before I made this video, I wanted to go and see if there was any existence of these Reddit threads anymore, because she still continues to talk about these Reddit threads, right? So I went into Reddit and I put Trisha Paytas. And when you go into Reddit, now I don't know if there's like mystery Reddit threads out there that you have to be like, you know, I don't know, have the National Treasure special key to go find or something. But when you put in Trisha Paytas in Reddit, literally like 4 or 5 Reddit pages come up. 3 of those haven't posted anything in over like a year or 2. And the other 2 are like just glorious statements about Trisha Paytas. Like, happy birthday to Trisha Paytas and posting this about her and how adorable her child is, which I think her child is adorable. You know, on and on and on, and saying all these really glowing things about Trisha. So I can't find any Reddit threads anymore. I think she's had them all taken down that really say anything disparaging about Trisha. So if they are out there, I am not aware of them. I am under the belief that Trisha has had those taken down. So I couldn't find any when I looked for them today because I wanted to talk about this. And so I wanted to make sure that they're not still up there because Trisha is continuing to talk about it, okay? So her documentary, when they approached her, she wanted to make it about this Reddit thread and all the hate she received and all this supposed stuff, right? Okay, so then they started reaching out, apparently, to drama channels that had covered Trisha. Now, what was interesting about this, and this was one of the things that I had talked about in my previous videos, was that, and there's nothing wrong with this, but the people that they were reaching out to were people that hadn't covered Trisha Paytas for an extensive amount of time. Like, for example, I've been on YouTube doing drama for 6.5 years. I think Trisha was one of the very first people that I ever talked about. I can remember talking about her way back in the day, and I said, who is Trisha Paytas making these extensive music videos for? I don't get it. And then she did Showtime, and I loved that music video, but it is what it is. So, you know, I've covered Trisha Paytas for 6.5 years, you know. There are so many other, you know, YouTubers out there, drama channels, Adam McIntyre, Dustin Daly, Nick Snyder from The Viewer's Voice, Paige Christie, Rich Lux, you know, myself. We've all covered, you know, Trisha Paytas ad nauseum for many, many years, all the different things. The ups, the downs, the lows. You know, many of us have been friendly with her from time to time and things like that. And in fact, back in the day when I used to talk to Trisha, you know, I would say to her, do you care if I make this video? And she would say, no, not at all. You're a drama channel. That's what you do. That's your job. Make the video. If you need to make a video talking about me, make the video talking about me. Now, she didn't like that when I started having my own opinions about things, right? That didn't align with her. And when I started calling her out on things, Trisha didn't like that. But when I was bringing Trisha a lot of attention and when I was saying things that were endorsing her choices, Trisha had no problem with the drama channels then, right? It was only when people started calling her out on her stuff that Trisha had an issue with that. All right, but like I said, I digress. So this documentarian started reaching out to these smaller drama channels. And what I said, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, right, whatsoever. But it was interesting to me because these were people that hadn't extensively covered Trisha for many, many years like most of us had. So that was the thing that was interesting to me. Now, I got a lot of comments when I did that video and people said, well, you're jealous that you didn't get reached out to, okay? Now, listen, Linda, I said in that video, I wouldn't have done a documentary even if I had been asked, okay? There is too much legality, and Trisha is constantly threatening legality with stuff. I ain't being in no documentary talking about anything to do about no Reddit threads. I hardly ever read those Reddit threads anyway. I'm not getting involved in that kind of stuff, and I'm not doing no documentary about Trisha Paytas, okay? If somebody wants to ask me and do an interview about Trisha Paytas and what I really think about Trisha Paytas, I ain't going to include it in a documentary where they're defending her anyway, which is what this documentary has turned into. Okay, so that was the first thing that was real interesting about it. Now, when I looked up this production company that is doing this documentary, the other interesting thing that I found out was that it's not really a documentary team, okay? I'm somebody that watches tons and tons of documentaries. I'm somebody that knows a lot of people that are involved in the industry of documentaries, and they come up with their own ideas. You know, they find financial backers to support them, and then they go out and they do their story. And it's a very objective point of view when you're doing a documentary. The subject is not typically involved in the outcome of the documentary. The subject is not asked, what do you want this documentary to be about? The subject is not involved. The subject is just a participant in the documentary, and the documentarians, the directors, and the producers are typically the fourth wall, of which, you know, they're sitting there and they are, that's not really the right term for that, but they're, you know, the people that are sitting there and they have an objective point of view. That is the whole idea of a documentary. What this company does, which is interesting, is they do a lot of marketing propaganda, okay? So they come up with videos for companies as kind of like a marketing tool, as propaganda. You go to this company, you hire them, and they do like a marketing piece for you. I couldn't find anything on their website that showed that they are independent documentarians. I couldn't find anything on the website. So I don't know, maybe this is just their own little adventure that they're taking part in, and they just felt so moved to do this whole Trisha Paytas documentary or something like that. But I couldn't find anything out there, right, about the fact that they are people that just want to, you know, they're so intrigued with Trisha Paytas that they are going to go do this documentary. So what I have to believe is that Trisha Paytas reached out to them, okay, to kind of reinvent herself to some degree, looking for a redemption arc, and said, I want to do a documentary, because you have to really listen when Trisha says things, because she says things, but if you really pick them apart, she doesn't come right out and say, like she said, like they reached out to me. But that could mean that she like emailed them and they reached out back to her, right? But in Trisha's mind, she thinks that that means that they reached out to her, and she doesn't believe that that's a lie because, well, yes, they did email her back, right? So I am under the belief, and I could be wrong, I could be very wrong about this, but I am under the belief that Trisha Paytas or somebody on her team or somebody that she works with suggested that she do this kind of like reinvention marketing tool where she does this documentary, because now she's come out and she has said that the direction of the documentary has changed, okay? And there are clips of her in live streams where she's talking about what she wants the end result to be like, where she wants the documentary to go. Well, that's not how a documentary happens. And if for any of you out there that have watched any documentaries, and like I've said, I have watched hundreds of documentaries through the years, okay? The participant doesn't decide the direction of the documentary, you know? It's like, I can remember, like, one of my favorite documentaries of life is the Wonderful Wild Whites of West Virginia. And it's so fantastically done because it shows a genuine and authentic portrait of this family in West Virginia, right? Like, it's not a lot of editing that shows you really, truly what these people are really all about. If you were going to go in and do a documentary about Trisha Paytas and show behind the scenes, I think she is so terrified of what the outcome of that would be. Trisha Paytas would never sign on to do a documentary that would show her behind the scenes of what she is really like. Because there's a lot of us out there that know what Trisha Paytas is really like behind the scenes, and she says one thing online, and she says one thing in videos, and she's a completely different way behind the scenes, and I don't think she wants people to know that. So I don't think that she would ever sign on to do a documentary that she didn't have some kind of control in, okay? So now this documentary is finishing up. She said they had to refilm some things because it didn't go in the direction that she wanted it to go. And she said something about, you know, that a lot of it is about mental health, and they're going to show the highs and they're going to show the lows and things like that, right? So to me, it seems like Trisha is really the one in control of this documentary. Well, the only way that she would be in control of this documentary is if she was the one that was paying for it, you know? I think she knows she can't come out and say, I'm the one that commissioned this documentary, because if she does, it's going to make her look bad. And people are going to be like, well, you're the one that's dictating how this is going to go. Why should we watch this? This is all perpetuated to make you look a certain way, okay? Which now the whole world already knows that because enough people are talking about it, you know? Then she came out and said that there are a lot of different YouTube channels that are wanting to host it on their channel, and she doesn't really know what they're going to do with it yet, but suggesting that if they don't put it on one of those YouTube channels, she'll just show it on her own YouTube channel. Okay, so now you have a documentary that she supposedly was asked to do, where she is now an active participant in the directing, the production, and the participation of, okay? And she is telling them what she wants it to look like and how she wants it to be the result. And then she is also going to host it on her own channel and have financial gain off of this documentary. And I'm confused as to why people don't see that this is kind of screwed up a little bit. Like, where's the truth in this documentary, okay? So there's that. And then Trisha is also in this reality show. And what's interesting to me about all this, and congratulations, like, Trisha always wants to be in reality shows. I think that's fantastic, you know? Live your dreams, do what you want to do. But what I understand about this reality show, what I've read, the articles that I've read, and the things that I've seen, the research that I've done, is that this reality show is about people from Israel that have moved to the United States, specifically Los Angeles, okay? And them kind of like coming together and being friends and things like that. To some degree, kind of like the Shaws of Sunset, okay? Now, apparently, this TV show, this reality show, is only going to air in Israel. I don't know, but apparently that's where it's going to air. What's interesting about it, from Trisha's perspective when she talks about it, is it very much comes across as if, from Trisha's own mouth, that Trisha is the one that is leading the pack of this reality show, when in all reality, Moses would be the person that's moved here from Israel, that would be the focal point of the reality show, and Trisha's just his partner. Trisha's just his spouse, right? You know, the wife and the mother of his child. And so I can't believe that she has a huge part in this reality show, other than being his wife and being at parties and being at dinners, and she talks about they started filming on Passover and things like that. I mean, what is Trisha's experience from moving from another country to the United States? From any country to the United States? I mean, she has no experience of that, right? So I'm not really sure why any reality show, like, let's just be for real. Trisha Paytas doesn't really have that big of a pull when it comes to reality television. I mean, it didn't really help her that much on Celebrity Big Brother. And she didn't really want to be on the show anyway. She got on the show and then she never wanted to do anything. She was always like in her locker looking at her stuff or sitting on the couch crying about how she wanted to go home and threatening people that she was going to come for them on social media. She never really did anything on Celebrity Big Brother. So now she's on this reality show about people moving. And I could be completely wrong with what this reality show is about. I don't know. Maybe the whole thing is focused on Trisha. I don't know. But she seems to be pumping it up a lot to try to get her people really interested in this reality show, which is interesting to me, because I can't imagine that much of Trisha's audience lives and resides in Israel, okay? So why are you pumping this up so much when you aren't even going to have that many people watching the show unless they have a VPN and they can watch shows from other countries, unless you live in Israel? Unless you're just wanting to bring a lot of attention to the fact that you're in this reality show, thinking that people aren't going to really be able to witness it and see it because they're not going to have access to it if we're living in the middle of Oklahoma or Indiana. You know, so then she's like, oh, I'm in this reality show, And, you know, she's even said, I hope I'm in more reality shows, and kind of insinuating that maybe this will be a gateway for her to be in other, you know, reality shows. For me, I really think, and I truly believe this, that, you know, like Trisha through the years, and she also says that she's writing a book. So I don't know what's coming to fruition with that, like where the book is coming or whatever. I think that part of what's happening is this. I think that Trisha has really banked on drama through the years. And she has really focused on the fact that drama has paid her bills. Not drama channels necessarily, not the Reddit threads, but all the stuff that she has put out there, all the things that she has said, the trolling, which she has admitted to herself trolling, so I'm not being cruel by saying that, all the trolling that she's done, on and on and on, all of that has brought a lot of attention to Trisha Paytas and people watching her and things like that. But now that she's a wife and now that she's a mother, I don't think she really wants to engage in that as much as she does, or did in the past, right? Now, interestingly enough, she's going back and she's doing things, you know, that she said she wasn't going to do. Like, for example, she's putting up new content on her OnlyFans, which just several months ago, she said she wasn't going to do, allegedly. She said she wasn't going to do that, blah, 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 whatever. And now she's come back I think just this week, and said that she's going to start putting new content on her OnlyFans. And again, I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I saw that receipt. And so I feel like she's kind of trying to stir stuff up because she's trying to bring a lot of attention to herself. And I really think the attention that she's trying to bring to herself is going to be with the release of this documentary, getting people to talk about this documentary. And when you watch the documentary, I think it's going to be a poor me, poor me, poor me. I have had such a hard time on the internet and social media, and it's going to be surrounded by this whole idea of all of these Reddit people coming for her, right? Because even in a live stream that she just did recently, or a video that she did recently, she talked about how nice the people were that she was on this reality show with, and that a lot of people from the Reddit thread were attacking them and coming for them. Well, girl, the Reddit thread is down. How do you know that it's those people? You know, how do you know it's those haters from the Reddit thread that are coming for the people on the reality show and trying to get in touch with them? You know, and I just have to say, I just want to put this out there, I think it's real interesting. You know, I've been on YouTube now for 7 years. Tomorrow is my anniversary on my BookTube channel. I've had my best friend contacted at her place of employment. I've had her emailed. I've had several of my friends emailed. I've had their places of employment emailed and called. I've had, you know, on and on and on. My husband, my family members, and that's why I don't include them a lot in videos anymore. And I've just kind of learned that lesson. But I've also learned that that's part of what goes along with the gig. You know, that when you're putting your life out there on social media, people are going to have an opinion and people are going to say something about it. It doesn't mean that I like it. It doesn't mean that I don't think that I think it's appropriate. It doesn't mean that I can't set boundaries, and it doesn't mean that my friends and my family shouldn't be able to set boundaries. But it happens, you know? Unfortunately, like with my friend Tanya, it happened to her enough that she said, I'm not going to be in any more videos. And she has started slowly wanting to come back and be in videos, but she's like, I don't want to be in videos anymore because I can't handle this, like when people are doing all this, you know? So you would think after 12 plus years, Trisha Paytas being on YouTube, TikTok, OnlyFans, on and on and on, that she would realize if she was in a reality show, people were going to reach out to these people and say, hey, do you know who Trisha Paytas really is? I mean, there's enough people out there that are going to want to educate people and let them know, you know? So that's really interesting to me, but I do believe that her kind of slowly starting to kind of like pull up some drama and stir up some drama it's like a slow buildup for her to focus on this documentary. And then when this documentary drops, she's going to focus. I think we will see several moves towards soft kind of dramatic remarks happening where people are talking about Trisha again, and then the documentary drops because she wants to get a lot of people to watch it, because I think that this is her opportunity that she believes for a redemption arc, okay? We'll see. I don't know. Now, I will tell you something that happened on Sunday late night. I was sitting around on my front porch. I was getting ready to watch a TV show, and I was just looking through Instagram, and I noticed that Trisha Paytas posted this picture on her Instagram story. And it's a picture, and I just mentioned this in my video the other day, it's a picture of Trisha Paytas eating macaroni and cheese, okay? But on the corner of her table, she has a bottle of prenatal vitamins, okay? Now, I don't know why she's taking them. I don't know why she has them in the picture. She didn't say anything about it. I was kind of surprised. I went to her newest Instagram picture. Nobody was saying anything. Nobody commented on it. I don't know if she's deleting it, but I don't think so. But, you know, my first reaction to that was, is Trisha pregnant? And Trisha is like trying to bring attention to this and kind of like say something about it. And, you know, and it was interesting because I said something in my video the other day about it. And I said, you know, people are speculating that Trisha might be pregnant again. And this is kind of her way of saying, like, hey, like, I'm pregnant again, but I don't want to come out and say anything. I just don't, this is what I want to say about this, is these are not typically things that I kind of speculate about in videos. But if you're going to put a bottle of prenatal vitamins in an Instagram story with some macaroni and cheese, you're going to get people asking questions. You just are. People are going to speculate. And Trisha Paytas is not stupid, okay? She knows what she's doing. And if she puts a bottle of prenatal vitamins up there, I think you're opening yourself up to the question of what is that about? Now, I got a lot of comments on my video the other day from people saying, it's not that Trisha's pregnant. This is a slam towards Hila Klein, because Hila had just come out on her Instagram story and announced, because she and Ethan Klein were attempting to get pregnant through IVF, that the IVF did not work. And so a lot of people were speculating that Trisha, this was a slam towards Hila Klein, putting up the prenatal vitamins. Now, okay, I can understand people that really have a lot of distaste in their heart for Trisha Paytas. And, you know, I will say she's not my favorite person in the entire world. I have a lot of issues with Trisha. I think she's one of the world's biggest liars. I don't think she takes accountability for herself. I will say in the last 6 months to a year, I think Trisha has attempted, okay, and I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I think she has really tried to stay out of drama and kind of clear herself up a little bit, or clean herself up a little bit when it comes to all the old stuff that she used to do. And I'm not excusing, there have been things along the way, I'm not excusing that. But for her to come out at this point, when she really hasn't said anything about Ethan or Hila in a very long time, for her to come out and do something that would be so hurtful and such a slam to Hila and Ethan, but especially Hila, I'm sorry, and I'm not making excuses for the girl, but I really find it difficult to believe that Trisha would do that. I just really do. So I don't know, maybe it's just an old bottle of prenatal vitamins that were sitting around and she wants people talking, because then when the documentary drops, people are gonna be like, oh, is she gonna talk about being pregnant in this? Is she gonna talk about having more kids? You know, is she gonna talk about trying to get pregnant? What is it gonna be about? Blah, 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 whatever, right? And that's kind of what I think it is, you know? I mean, hey, if she wants to get pregnant and have more kids, hey, more power to you, you know? But I think it's interesting that she put that up there. And I think these are the kind of attempts that we're going to see in the next, I don't know, couple weeks, next month, before this documentary drops. Because I think it's going to drop pretty soon. And I think that we're going to see these soft attempts. I mean, I think her coming out and saying that she's going to start posting stuff on OnlyFans, when she knows that people are going to come out and say, you said you weren't going to post this stuff because you're a mother now, and now you're coming back out and you're going to post stuff on OnlyFans. She knows people are going to be talking about that, right? And this is the thing, and I was thinking about this today and making this video. The Reddit threads don't exist anymore, you know? So the only way that people are, and this is smart on Trisha's point, right? She's got those Reddit threads taken down. So the only way for people to interact or talk about Trisha is really on a drama video or on Trisha's videos. So people are going to go to Trisha's videos to see what she is up to and to talk about it in the comment sections or on her Instagram, because they don't have the outlets that they had before. She's taken that away from them. So she's funneled that all in to people coming to her own videos or her Instagram, you know, to some extent, to talk about those things. It's not stupid, you know? I mean, and I don't believe that she deserved all of the hate that she got. I just don't. I think a lot of it went way, way, way too far, okay? But a lot of the things that she was suggesting that were occurring, I never witnessed either. Like, I even looked for it and couldn't witness. So I don't know about all that. But I do think that we're going to start seeing some soft moves towards Trisha stirring up drama to bring attention to this documentary. What's going to be interesting is to see, I don't think this documentary is going to do very well. I think it's going to fall flat. I don't think she's going to get a lot of views. I think the watch time, if it's an hour long, will probably be 15 minutes. I think people will start watching it and they'll get really bored of it. I think people don't really care. I just don't think people are that invested in Trisha Paytas and the hate that she's received. I think a lot of people believe that Trisha Paytas deserves a lot of the negativity that she's received because of what she's put out there, and she hasn't taken accountability. So those same people are not going to watch a documentary where she's sitting there and she's talking about how horrible this has been and what she's gone. People aren't going to care. So I don't believe that this documentary is going to do very, very well, and I think it's going to be a fail for her and a bust. You know, I think if she had come out and she said, I want to do a movie and I want to show pieces of my life and I'm going to be the one producing and directing this, and I think it would have been better for her. I think she would have owned it instead of saying, oh, this documentary team reached out to me and they're doing this documentary that's going to be completely unbiased, when we know that that's not the case now. We know that she's very much involved. I just think it's such a bad look, and I think people aren't going to be interested in watching it because they're going to be like, and I mean, I'll watch it and I'll cover it on my channel, but I think that, you know, for the sake of drama, but I think that people are going to be like, so we're watching a very contrived, perpetuated storyline of what Trisha Paytas' life has been like online without the truth. And I don't think people are going to be into that. So I don't really think it matters how much drama she stirs up. I don't think she's going to get the reception that she wants. And then it's going to be interesting to see, well, what does she do after that? Because already her, you know, her ASMR channel is doing pretty good, but like her other channels, like she's not getting any views on those at all, right? She's not really getting any interaction whatsoever. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, Trisha Paytas is somebody that's reinvented herself a million times over online. It's going to be interesting to see the next thing that she does. So anyway, let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.